Hello and welcome back, by golly, to Drams for Dummies. I'm happy to be back, and if you're watching, thank you for being here. And if this is something you're enjoying, like, subscribe, do all the things. I'll worry about it later if there's going to be enough need for a Patreon and all that. Not even thinking about that. I'm just here to have fun with you guys. So welcome back into the Drams for Dummies kitchen. What better way to dive back into the channel after a few months off than the old blind barrels that I love? You know, if you followed me, that I love the blind barrels. Got this a few weeks ago because of trips and holidays. It's been sitting, and then I realized I'm going to shoot this on video again. So now it's sitting until the time when I can actually get it done. That is tonight. Again, in the format, I'm not going to do all four in this video. I'm going to do bottle A in this video. In the next video, I'm going to do bottle B, then bottle C, then bottle D. And then maybe I'll do a recap of how they scored, but it's not really important. Whatever's the juice is in bottle A is going to get its own time and its own score, and its own promotion, and its own title, and its own video. B, C, D the same way. Again, if you know blind barrels, I'm not going to go through the whole service. Just know that this is an online mail service that will send you every quarter 4 expertly chosen, typically craft or smaller distillery bourbons and whiskeys from around the country, and they put them together for a reason. They'll tell a story about them. The blind works really well as a blind. It's set up as a blind. So I used to do it as a blind. I'm not anymore. This card comes with it. It tells you kind of about what it's about that month. And then on the back, they've got tasting notes, nosing notes, and that QR code is what we're going to scan here at the end of this taste test. That's going to tell us and reveal what the bottles are. And so I'll take the time to kind of give some due diligence to that, but not going to take too much time because, again, that's the point of the new format. There's the beautiful packaging of the blind barrels. I love all of it. Everything about how they do their business is great. So check out Blind Barrels, give them some love, give them a membership, see how you like it. But for now, I'll set them up over there because it's just fun to have the creepy monkey in the corner. So I'm going to pour this here live on camera. Usually, if you know me, you know I like to get some air in there and let it sit. The rule that I've learned and heard is a minute for every year of age. By the looks of this one, it needs about a minute of age of air before it's ready to rock, because this looks like a young booger. Put that back there. We are on bottle A. This is a light Malbajau. Holy. I'm going to agitate it. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to get it up the sides. I'm going to make sure I get some air in there. So, on a glance, we're going to say that is a super urine colored. That looks like, in this day and age of all the different types of whiskeys that are being made around the country in different styles, it can be for a lot of different reasons. But typically, if you see that light of color, we're thinking of very young whiskey of some regard. So, nosy time. Wow, really different and unique. Again, if you see me, you know I'm no good at the noses and the notes. So again, this is called Drams for Dummies for a reason. So I'm going to give you my dummy thoughts, just like you as a dummy would be drinking and going, that smells really sweet. It smells young. It smells kind of syrupy. But it's kind of fun. I would not be at all surprised if it's a single malt, kind of in that Scotch single malt family. I can smell it in there a little bit, that kind of earthiness, but it's kind of fun. And again, the fun of blind barrels is you get all these different things and you don't know what you're drinking. It's things you might not pull off the shelf because I would read the bottle and see 2 years age or 3 years age or single malt or a distillery I don't know. And I'd be like, I'm not going to risk my money on that bottle. This gives you a chance to try new things and maybe get turned on to something that you wouldn't have been otherwise. So that's the fun of the blind barrels. We're going to do blind one at a time bottles. So I like a nose that's a little different every time. I feel like this is kind of doing that as it wakes up. I'm not going to even try to dig into the nose and tell you the notes. young, youthy, syrupy, sweet, a little fruity, different, quirky. I'm going to give it a 6 nose, which on my scale is pretty good because it's quirky, it's interesting, it's kind of sweet, it's kind of fun, it's different. It's not maybe what I would try to gravitate towards if I was just picking what I love. So it's not a love, really good. But it's different, and it's not turning me off in the nose. So because it's kind of fun and quirky, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm going to go with a 6, pretty good. All right, let's go to the palate. Okay. Yeah, it's youthy, it's burny, it's light. I can't go all the way and say it's a single malt. I'm not getting a lot of that, but again, the age is so young in my mind that it's hard to give. It's not giving me a lot of anything. It's nice. It's easy. I wouldn't drink it straight on its own for any other reason but doing this blind. So, I'm kind of between 4 and 5 here, which again, if you know my old scores, that's crazy low, but that's between not my jam and average, 5 being average. I'm going to give it a 4. It's not my jam. It's not bad. It's not poor. So going down to 3, 2, and 1 is poor, bad, terrible. Is this even legal and drinkable at a 0? So it's none of that. I just wouldn't. There's nothing in there that would make me go, I want more of that. So I'm going to say it's not my jam. And then finish, just to put the bow on it. Mostly nothing. Kind of when you swallow it and it's kind of going down, it kind of just goes away. Kind of watery, kind of diluted feeling. Not a lot of flavor at all. And then what it kind of comes back around, that sort of end of the finish, that coda, if you were, sort of brings the youth and the grassy graininess back. Some of the ethanol kind of ick comes back in the end. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to say it's poor for me personally in the finish. So all of that to say, that's a 13. You math wizards out there, do it before I can do it. 13 divided by 3, that's a 4.3. So a 4.3 would really be rounded down to a not my jam. Doesn't surprise me at all. I think that I like my new scoring system. That feels very accurate to me. This is not my jam. It's not bad. Before I scan it and tell everybody, because there are some independent, awesome distillery out here who's working their butts off to make juice that they love and that others love. And I love that. I love how diverse this whiskey world has gotten. I like what I like. I kind of get stuck in my ways. If I continue to put out content, you'll figure out if your palate agrees with me. And if it does, you'll hopefully subscribe and keep following all my stuff and when you're in the store, you're like, what did Brett think about this if I reviewed it? And then if you disagree, maybe you come and do it for the opposite reasons. Like, I know I like what Brett doesn't like, so I'm going to, watch, and if he hates it, I'm going to go buy it and be that contrarian. So let's see if the barcode on the back works like it's supposed to. Of course, because blind barrels. So the distillery is, oh golly. First video back, and I have a word that's hard to pronounce. Andalusia, I want to say. Andalusia. Andalusia Whiskey Company in Blanco, Texas. It is a triple distilled single malt whiskey. So again, if you followed me before, every so often this blind squirrel gets a nut. Between the color and between some of the smell and the taste, I was like, it could definitely be in that single malt, but I wasn't going to go all the way there because it wasn't just putting out that, oh my gosh, this is punching me in the face as a single malt. But as a triple distilled, and I'll do some of this, and I might have to edit this because sometimes this is me on the fly. But the fun fact that they give you is that this American single malt whiskey is made in accordance with Irish whiskey traditions. being distilled 3 times and aged in used barrels. So that's really interesting. It's 100 proof. It is 4 years old. So that's where, again, I'm a dummy, but also we're all dummies. And because there's so many cool things happening that maybe if you haven't experienced it before, this makes complete sense. Distilling in the Irish whiskey tradition, using used barrels is why we're not getting the color after 4 years that we usually would get from a new charred oak barrel. And also maybe some of the, again, when it's a used barrel, you're not getting quite as much of the in and out, the pass through into the wood and out of the wood. So that's where some of that lack of character, depth, flavor that I like, that bourbon likers like. I don't love Irish whiskey because, again, it stays in this light, kind of easy drinking, but doesn't do anything for me world. That's kind of where this lives. Nice, not offensive, not poor, not bad, but also, you know? So there you go right there. Take it for what it's worth. Andalusia Whiskey Company, Blanco, Texas. Triple distilled single malt whiskey, bottle A of blind barrels, received a score today from me of a 4.3, which would call it a not my jam bottle. But single malts and Irish whiskeys are not my jam. I am so happy to be back with you. Thank you guys. I missed being here with you. Thanks for being back in my kitchen. See you on the next one.